Hey everybody, welcome to the week one edition of the Friday Night Lookback. It is actually Saturday, so
We really are looking back at Friday.
yeah,
Just a little
no,
bit.
exactly. But we were treated to an awesome first week of high school football playoff action, or not playoff, what am I saying? And we knew it was going to be good just because it's the regular season's back and the games mean something. But at the same time, the games were extremely competitive. So why don't you all, real quick, starting with David, say where you were at tonight and
I
who
was
won.
I was at the Orange Bowl, Southeast Texas Orange Bowl. West Orange Stark defeated Los Cypress, Mauriceville, 29-12.
I was at the Beaumont Bowl between Central and Westbrook, and a barn burner that came to the very last play. Westbrook pulled it out 40-34 to beat Central for the 11th time in a row.
I was in lovely Crosby, where Nederland fell 25-20 to the Cougars, and we'll get more on that later. But just real quick, David, keys to the game. Who impressed you tonight, and what are you just walking away with in terms of impressions?
Well, the big storyline, as a lot of people know, Chase Rutledge was kicked off the team yesterday. He was the starting quarterback. So the big thing today was to see how Jack Dallas, the sophomore quarterback, would do. And he came in and he was a little shaky at first. You could kind of tell there were nerves. But he ended up throwing for 167 yards, ran for 22 yards, and then had 2 running touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. He looked great, honestly, to the point where one of the assistant coaches, called him JFF. So I know you fans out, the college football fans know what that means. But yeah, the offense looked solid. I mean, Dallas knows what to do when he throws it. He throws it up to Will Johnson, and Deontay Thompson lets them do what they have to do. Grant LaPointe, running back, ran for 120 yards on 20 carries. Offense still has a little bit of ways to go if they want to be, state championship caliber, but it was a good start. Their defense was fast, got pressure to the quarterback. I mean, as big as LCM's offensive line was, they did give up a lot of pressure to Jake Saunier, caused safety in the first half. Saunier was able to complete some passes on the West Orange secondary, but not enough to do a whole lot of damage. All in all, West Orange, I mean, it was a great start to the season for them. LCM has a ways to go, but, I mean, they'll be all right.
Jack Dallas, undoubtedly all-name team.
Absolutely.
If I'm naming a football player, if my kid's name is Jack Dallas, of course he's going to play quarterback. I mean, of course. It's perfect. Kendrick, you got your deadline muscles worked out the last 2 days. First, you see a game-winning touchdown as Hampshire beat Lumberton, and then tonight you get another exciting game that's decided in the fourth quarter with Central and Westbrook.
I have to say, hats off to both teams. Being from the Metroplex area, I got to see what the Beaumont Bowl was all about, and it lived up to expectations. I thought for a second at halftime it was 34-14. It looked like Westbrook was going to come away, but just like my man Coach Foreman said, they don't quit, and they got to the last play and had caught a couple breaks. It could have got that first win in a decade over Westbrook. Main things is Michael Jaquette made plays all game. He had 277 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes, only 1 pick, and he ran for like a $150, $160 plus in touchdown. So 2 touchdowns. He basically did it all and showed why he's going to Utah. On defense, P.J. Locke did a solid job, got him another pick, had about 5 or 6 tackles. And for Westbrook, the start of the game was DeMarcus Smith, showing that he can take Justin Hervey's shoes. He had 26 carries, 206 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and kind of controlled the game. When Westbrook needed a first down, they were giving the ball number 3, and he was getting the job done. And then the second quarter, they went to that man, Keith Corbin, who showed why he's getting looked at by Ole Miss and Texas Tech. In the second quarter alone, Corbin had 6 catches and 126 yards and put on a highlight reel that's borderline Randy Moss, Des Bryant. Literally, everybody be talking about. If you look at his huddle, you'll see at least 3 plays from that one quarter on that highlight reel.
He tweeted one picture where he was making a play for the ball in the end zone, and he was just basically full extension coming up to the ball. And, I mean, the kid was in another stratosphere as far as his vertical goes. And if you stand up next to him, he's not like an extremely
About
large
6'2",
kid.
6'3".
Yeah, he's not like, one of these, physical freaks of nature, but athletically, I mean, the guy is unparalleled.
He gonna get the ball against anybody in Southeast Texas. It's gonna be hard to stop him once he got going. They finally put P.J. Locke on a one-on-one. It was good to see two future D1ers go at it.
Yeah.
It was an even match. P.J. made a couple nice plays. Keith made a great double move that everybody, including myself, thought was a pass interference call, but it was a no call. So I guess he won the battle because Corbin only caught one pass on him when he got in there, and it kind of slowed him down.
Gotcha. For me, real quick, Nederland, this is a team that went to Crosby last year and allowed 56 points tonight. It was a far different story. They really did have a chance to win this one, and pretty much the main deciding factor was Sage Say going out in the third quarter, early in the third quarter, with leg cramps to the point where he was in for one series, had leg cramps, went back in the next series, and it got to the point where he was just lying down on the turf. Trainers came out and stretched him out, and he was done. Whether he could play again or not, I didn't have a chance to ask Coach Newman after the game, but, why risk it? If he's not feeling well as it is, non-district, why risk it? Brett Smith goes in the game, senior quarterback, and really throws a good ball, a nice ball, good spiral. At that point, though, an entire dimension of the Nederland offense was eliminated. I mean, Sage Smith in the first Sage Say, I don't know if I said Smith before, but Brett Smith, Sage Say, two different people. Sage Say in the first half honestly, district MVP written all over it. He continues to do that sort of thing, both with his legs, 11 carries, 60 yards, and with his arm, 2 touchdowns, I think something like 5 for 8. Just a fantastic player, a kid that stands out on the field immediately. And you better gang tackle him, because I can tell you right now, if you just have one guy on him, he's going to carry him for a good 3 yards after that initial contact. That's how physical he plays. Just a fantastic player. And you know what? He would make even more plays if they put him on defense. And we've seen that before as defensive back. But right now they're just playing him on offense.
So what would be safe to say? Is he beast mode?
Yeah. I mean, the kid, it's just every time he got the ball, a play was being made. And it was one of those things where there were some times where maybe he would get hit behind the line of scrimmage and he still was able to salvage a few yards out of it for a no gain. So, obviously if he stays healthy, I mean, that's the playmaker. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say the one thing that I think kind of concerns me about Say, and I saw it from the when Nederland scrimmaged West Orange, is just how he'll be able to, his body will be able to handle a full season, because, he was getting hit at West Orange. Yeah. Just the way their offense is, he's going to run the ball, he's going to get hit, and you can't avoid it. So, obviously, tonight was cramps. I didn't have much to do with getting hit, but I just wonder, will he be able to handle that the whole season?
Yeah, no, it's an absolute legitimate worry. And the reason I say district MVP makings is because he is that team. That's their offense. I mean, they have other weapons. Marcus Barton, Austin Krauts, some of these guys, just great skill players, but as opposed to, let's say a P&G where Halfin's going to get his carries, he'll get at least 20, 25 carries a game, and then Morse is going to get his throws in. It's kind of like splitting the production there, as with Say, where he's both those guys for them. So real quick, after Say goes out, the Nederland rushing game just got blown up in the second half, and that rendered them basically one-dimensional. It was kind of downhill from there. I will say I was impressed with Nederland's defense. Crosby, even though they lost the Twins to Rice, they brought back, his last name was Allen, I think
Deontay?
Yeah, but spelled like D''ONT, something weird. And that's a decent rushing attack. The Bulldogs had a little bit of trouble getting penetration because they were only rushing 3 linemen, so there weren't a lot of plays made in the backfield. A lot of the time it was making sure to contain that Crosby rushing attack and preventing them from breaking the big one. Overall, encouraging things from Nederland. Not, exactly a great preview of what you're going to see for the rest of the year because their starting quarterback was out, but, certainly encouraging, for the future. Real quick, guys, let's say your one takeaway point from this week that you think will apply, for future weeks. What's something you learned about the team you covered tonight? And then second, what game are you looking forward to most next week? So whoever's ready.
I'll go.
David, go.
I'll be quick. I'll say for West Orange, it's simple. They're good. They're going to always be good. there's not very many teams I know that could lose their top two quarterbacks within the span of about 4 or 5 weeks and come out. And honestly, the only reason they didn't score more in the second half is because I think they completely took their foot off the gas offensively. They look good. The defense looked like a West Orange defense. It looked very good. They'll get better. As far as the game, there's a couple good games. I believe the game I'm going to be at next week is going to be P&G versus West Orange. Out in Orange, it's going to be a good one. West Orange's secondary is going to be tested. Adam Morse for P&G threw for about 384 and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of the best passing offenses in the area versus one of the best secondaries in the area. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that game just I'm excited. Just listen. I mean, that's going to be unbelievable. And P&G, God, what a win tonight. Yeah. Seriously, I mean,
big 6
He went lone wolf.
Clearly, they're no joke in that 6A school. And for P&G to come out and win the way they did, I mean, just a tremendous win for that squad. I'll say next week I'm going to be at Central Port Arthur Memorial, and this is a game where it's kind of lost a little bit of its glow after Central did lose to Westbrook and Port Arthur Memorial beat up on Ozan the way they did. But I still think that's going to be an extremely, with the amount of athletic talent on that field. I mean, that's going to be that's going to be one heck of a game. I'm really looking forward to it. Just real quick, I want to mention another big win tonight was Hardin Jefferson against Jasper.
Shout out to the Hawks, 35-21.
Something that we didn't mention tonight. I mean, that's a huge win for them to do it against the Jasper team that, most years you look at that matchup and you're like, oh, yeah, Jasper's going to get great. But not tonight. Kendrick, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Two quick points. One, HJ, I was lone wolf on y'all. I support y'all. They're a team that's basically they're not satisfied with the year that they did. Coach Du Bois installed his work program, and they legitimately are a hungry team to get any further. And take for my game, Central Westbrook. Do not judge the Central Jaguars by their record. Look at where they be at the end. They may start off 0-3. They're playing all 6A teams, but by the end of the year, they might be, if not the or one of the most improved teams. You see the foundation. They got the athletes. Michael Jaquette just making plays. They got to keep that man healthy. He's making all kinds of plays. I've never seen nobody throw 40 yards multiple times, back-to-back plays, and was keeping them. He single-handedly kept them along. They got to prove up front on the offensive defensive line, but that'll come with experience. Yeah, and Coach Foreman will have them ready.
Just one last thing, Memorial. We all know. I know you know, Avi. Memorial's out for revenge. Central beat them by a point last year.
Haunts Kenny Harrison's dreams at night.
So
wakes up in the middle. Oh, Toby!
That'll be a good one.
They were the game scouting today. They had the whole crew. They're not taking Central lightly whatsoever.
I'm sure they were, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, it's non-district, so it's there to prepare teams for when it really, really counts and games that mean maybe you get into the playoffs or not. But for the teams who won, hey, that's a pretty nice win to hang your hat on. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.